hell is?
Bernard Palissy, the 16th century Huguenot ceramicist.
Yes. Do you know him?
I've always loved his work, but I've never seen anything of his in real life.
So angsty, romantic, poetic, Saltburn talks about the excesses of the upper class in England. And a major plot point is about a Renaissance potter. Why? So first of all, the British aristocracy collected long before museums existed. Fictional Saltburn has all the best of all the art from all kinds of collections. But it's to evoke the fact that people would be partying next to a Holbein, a Renaissance master painting. Many people hate contemporary art or abstract art because it's just a tax write-off. This is the OG. They had this stuff for two reasons. One, so they could show how discerning they are. And two, because you could sell this stuff. And it only went up in value. So the thing about the Palissy plates, the big theme of this movie is about secret ways society keeps itself in check. The main character is on scholarship and doesn't understand the norms of the wealthy. And they do a great job of showing how the wealthy is sort of like us. They're all reading Harry Potter. They hang out in the sun, and they randomly have Renaissance masterpieces in their house. And Palissy's a perfect example to use here because Bernard Palissy, who was working in the 1500s, only made so many plates, so they're very hard to get. And they look like a lot of the ones knockoff people were making. And people started knocking them off right in his lifetime, but then it went on for centuries. In the 19th century, many English artists were making Bernard Palissy's style works. So it requires a real eye to be able to tell a real Palissy, and it requires seeing a lot of it. In other words, you have to be in the know. A perfect trick for somebody who is of society, right? They have seen so many Palissys in real life. They can tell that that's a real one. But I think there's also some subtle symbolism with using Palissy. So Palissy was a French Huguenot who had the dream of making porcelain, which at the time only the Chinese could do. He couldn't quite figure that out. He sort of came upon this technique where he cast live animals. And he did all these sort of watercolory glazes, which was so different than everybody else was doing. He was a complete outlier, stylistically and then, of course, religiously. And so he's creating these sort of squirmy works that look different than everyone else. He's containing life in a way that feels almost alive. It is almost fraught. And I suspect that's also a symbolism of the story. Everyone is miserable. It's completely fraught, but you can't look away. So I suspect that this is meant to be symbolic of that as well.